Welcome to another episode of the BBL Show. I'm Drew Lasker, he's Jay Marriott, and we're coming to you from the sunny Southwest, live from Bristol.
Home of the Bristol Flyers, as we look into the secret sauce of this amazing season and also go behind the scenes for the big arena. Here's what's coming up next.
We get to know former Flyer Ben Mockford. The headlines sizzle in Hot Topics. We look at our top 10 plays of the week.
Jelani Watson-Gayle and Mike Miller test their knowledge of each other in teammates. VJ King is in the hot seat. We shift gears to WBL Focus. But first, I go one-on-one with Jelani as we talk about Bristol Flyers and their new arena. Jelani, welcome to the show. Thanks for your time, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, good. We're honorary California kids, right? But the BBL show shows me often just how old I am. It was 22, 23 years ago since I was playing, obviously fresh in your mind. But what I want to know is, what was the journey like to get there?
So obviously I started playing football. I used to play for Leyton Orient. Then I started getting into basketball with my older brother. Started playing for Newham Youngbloods, based out of Newham, East London. Then ended up getting called up to the London team, which then that led to getting called up by the England team. Then I just took basketball more serious, stopped playing football. Kind of was getting bored of it. Ended up going to high school when I was 16 in Georgia. Then I went to 3 different schools actually. I went to Benedict College in South Carolina for a year. Then my coach left. Then I went to Miles College for 3 years. Then I, like you said, ended up in California my last year.
Yeah. Leyton Orient, first of all, what position?
Started centre back. There was a year or two where they was pretty much experimenting me. I was in goal, striker, right back, right mid. Centre mid was a bit too much running for me though.
So what was it about basketball that pulled you away from the game of football? We know what such a big pull it is in this country. It was a big pull for me as a kid also. Yeah. What attracted you to the game of basketball?
Like I said, I was centre back, and I was bored. Like I was bored. I felt like I was out of the action. I wanted to score goals. I wanted to do all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So then with basketball, I felt like it was just constant action. So I was always in that action, being able to do a lot of different things constantly, and I think that pretty much drew me into it.
We're in the presence of where the arena is going to be for Bristol. And let's take a minute to think about community, youth, you know, especially for us growing up. What do you think that it's going to do for the young community of basketball players here in Bristol?
I think inspire them really. Like when I was younger, I don't really remember going to many big basketball games in big stadiums. Like when I'm used to playing, from a young age, I'm used to playing in a school where you've got benches on the sideline and probably about 100 people max. Yeah. Like it was when I went to the States and stuff was the first time I'm experiencing all these big stadiums.
Yeah, no badminton over there.
No,
right? Yeah,
no. I mean, the national team as well, but the stadiums weren't really filled. But like, to be in a stadium like that, just the whole experience, I feel like it was inspired them.
Jelani, I want to finish. You're obviously the poster boy for young Brits right now, and obviously for the Bristol Flyers. You know, what would be some of the tips out there for those young aspiring players coming through and wanting to play in the BBL?
I want to start by saying it's funny how you like labeled it poster boy, because like that was one of my goals coming in like before the season. Obviously the league's dominated by imports and stuff, but I wanted to be that inspiration to Brits to show that they could do it as well. Have confidence in yourself, because I remember times where like I was playing and I was lacking confidence, playing scared, and it doesn't do anything for you. No. You know what I mean? Yeah. And use your resources, but also just don't let basketball just be your main focus. Like still explore other avenues, other passions and stuff, and like use basketball to do more things. Use it to get more relationships, to see different areas, different experiences, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. No, I love those answers. So, listen, Jelani, thanks for your time. I wish we had longer. Yeah. Cali kid to Cali kid. Thank you very much. Good luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you.
We're going to head over now with Ben Mockford, former player of mine, former Bristol Flyer, as we get to know the GB International.
So I first started playing basketball for Brighton Bears down in the south of England. I then went on to play high school basketball in America for Oak Hill Academy. And then after that, university in New York for St. Francis. And then I've been playing pro basketball ever since in Spain, Greece, France, and the UK. As far as getting into basketball, it was my older brother and my dad who got me into it. Started going to like local sessions on a Saturday, and yeah, just fell in love with it that way. I was always quite small, so being one of the smaller guys probably was the hardest thing, having to have a bit of a edge and a fight about you. So yeah, probably always being one of the smaller guys, having a chip on your shoulder was one of the biggest things I had to kind of overcome. My biggest influences when I was younger was definitely my dad and my brother. They played, my dad coached, so I definitely looked up to them when I played from a young age, and then as I grew up, got older, it was probably your famous players, you know. But definitely they're the ones who got me into basketball, and they're the ones who inspired me. I've definitely had to sacrifice a lot. Obviously I moved away from home at a young age, leaving all my family behind. And yeah, as a professional player, you're most of the time you're away from family, from friends. So you sacrifice a huge part of your life to be a professional player. And it's tough, but the rewards are also really good. So when I was younger, I would play just like every other kid played, like on the weekends in National League, and I was probably an average player. But I think when I turned about 16 or 17, I really knew that I was starting to get good, and I was probably one of the better players in the country at the time. So I think, yeah, around kind of 17, right before I went to America, I felt it was a bit late. There was a lot of kids ahead of me when I was kind of 14, 15, but yeah, I would say 16 or 17, I started to kind of flourish and really improve a lot. So yeah, obviously at Oak Hill Academy, I played with Brandon Jennings. He was, at the time, he was the #1 player in the country. So I was going over to Oak Hill as a point guard. I played point guard in England, and he was obviously point guard there, so that was a huge challenge for me. I hadn't really faced anyone like that ever in my life, so it was definitely a big step up. It was tough. There was definitely times I wanted to quit because he was pretty ruthless, but I made it through that, and I think it made me tougher as a player. But that was definitely my first challenge moving to the US, was playing against him every day. Playing for the national team is, for me personally, is my biggest achievement to date. You play with a huge sense of pride, and you're also playing with your brothers. You know, I grew up with a lot of those guys on the national team, playing junior level in England, playing against them and just knowing each other. And for me, there's no better feeling than playing for the national team. I've learned a hell of a lot over the last few, however long I've been playing, I think 9 years now for the men's team. And it's just, yeah, for me it's the best time. I have the best time playing with them. I can hold my head high and say I worked as hard as I could work. And yeah, just be known as a successful player who did what he can to help the team win.
So Jay, let's keep it here with the Newcastle Eagles. Obviously the narrative around this team all season has been change. Another change, and Donovan Johnson just leaves the team, heads over to Greece. Put us at ease. Put us in the mind of Mark Studel of why he would feel the need to make so many changes this season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't know 100% behind the scenes, so there could be different things going on. But in my mindset, I think we just got to give Mark a season to figure out the BBL. Having been a coach, being in Plymouth, you come in with some ideas, philosophies, maybe even players that you want. And sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. Sometimes you've got to be flexible. And I think that what it looks like on the outside is he's just trying to find his feet. We know he's a great coach, so nobody needs to be worried.
Well, I'm a Newcastle Eagles fan, as everyone knows, and I just want to see my team win. But as you can see on the screen right there, a lot of transactions. 11 so far this season. Trivia question for you, my man. What is the last team to have this many transactions in the season?
I see where you're going with this, Mark. Don't stress about a thing. I know it was me.
Ding, 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 ding. So we got the trophy competition coming up this weekend. With the teams remaining, who is under the most pressure to make a deep run in this competition?
Well, I've gone with an interesting one. I've gone with the Leicester Riders, mainly because I think that they're going to put themselves under that pressure. You know, Coach Rob, even Russ himself, that's a winning organisation that expects to win trophies. They're going to want to go deep in this competition. I know they'll be disappointed in the finals, despite the fact that it was an incredible finals. They played great. They do need to get more from Loving, so I'm hoping that this is his redemption time as well as they go on this journey. But yeah, I'm going Riders.
And if they're going to go anywhere, they got to get something from Mark Levin. We saw in the big games him not play up to his standards, but the guy is talented. We know it's only a matter of time, but I'm going to go to the Surrey Scorchers. And, you know, what has been the thing that's been talked about with this team? We need to wait for what?
Injuries.
Yeah, you called it. You talked about the injuries. They said once we get healthy, we're gonna make a run. And you know they're healthy now. They got their full roster for the first time, and still go 0 for 2 this past weekend. So you know, currently at 2-17, we got to see that with the new regime in, we got to see some progress. So the Surrey Scorchers, they got a home date with the Cheshire Phoenix. I want to see them take advantage of getting some of that home cooking, and they got to make a deep run for us.
Yeah, and that fan base, they deserve it. I mean, it's been rocking in there all year. They need to start bringing those performances, and a deep run is certainly great. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But let's head over to top 10 plays of the week.
In the fourth quarter, Evans goes baseline, goes up, draws the foul, gets the and one, and he'll go to the free throw line. Well, comes off the bull screen. I mean, Ryan Maughan's got to come out a lot more aggressively and try to stop him. He's going to switch on defense.
Here's Cook again, squaring up and attacking. Pulling his way to the basket, jamming it in.
That's a tough move and strong finish.
As those shots start to drop, will the line stay true to the zone?
Brilliant interception from Bailey! And goes all the way!
Loving late in the shot clock, sees the lane to the basket and jams it in himself.
That's not a situation where someone needs to help Rashad with a switch. It wasn't even his guy. Nice move by Gadsden, great pass!
Yeah, we watch now. Even the basket's in, look at them sprinting down the court.
Really stepping it up, focus, knowing their assignments, and execute.
Rinson finds his way through.
To me, he's gone to the side of May Thompson. Nice play and a fast break dunk from May Thompson.
Retino splitting the defenders all the way to the rim. What a move from Jordan Retino.
My God.
That's a great move.
Rebound that's flying around all over the place. Easter Brandon ends up with it. Still 9 seconds on the shot clock. Finds Mark Hedrick. Bell sneaks the dunk in.
That ball was going here, there, and everywhere. You know, Patriots are they're struggling to look after that ball, and they're really struggling to guard Smith right now, you know?
Smith looks like he's going to shoot.
Wherever you watch them, when they're playing on the road in London, Leicester Riders, they're one of the most composed teams. Andrew Lawrence to follow up, and oh my goodness! Good night, sorry. Again, most kings sit on the throne. This guy goes right into battle and just reminds the Phoenix, I am the king, Padilla Wang of South Sudan.
Somebody's handwriting is horrible. Mahinji Leonard, bro, I didn't know. I thought I was like, yo, brother or something. Like, I don't know who this is. It looked like a J because his handwriting is crazy. Wait, what's that last one? Is it a G? Oh, that's supposed to be an
That's
E.
2 N's, bro.
Oh,
E-Y.
You need to go back to this. Oh. How many total turnovers? Total?
Yeah, how many total?
Why are you trying to expose my boy, man? First question. What is Mike's favorite movie? Coach Carter, Above the Rim, or Happy Gilmore? I'm gonna go with A, Coach Carter. I went with A, Coach Carter.
You don't be acting like you know me like that.
Aye.
God damn. 1 for 1, huh?
Yeah. Second question. How many total turnovers this season? A, 39, B, 55, or C, 92? 23 games. Can't be 92. I'm gonna go with B, 55. I went with B, 55.
Damn. 2 for 2. Hold on, Lonnie.
Come on now.
Let me find out.
Third question. Who was Mike's basketball hero? A, Allen Iverson, 3, Marcus Turner, or C, Mohinji Leonard? First of all, I don't even know who Mohinji Leonard is. I'm gonna just go in the middle. Marcus Turner. Third question was, who was Mike's basketball hero? A, Allen Iverson, B, Marcus Turner, or C, Mohinji Leonard, which was supposed to be Kawhi Leonard. I went with B, Marcus Turner.
That boy is wrong. 2 for 3. If it was from the 3-point line, you'd be good. 6%. So we good. It'll say Mahini. Oh, well, it looked like a J because his handwriting is crazy.
Wait, what's that last one? Is it a G? Oh, that's supposed to be an E. Oh,
wow.
You need to go back to this. Oh,
Handwriting look crazy.
yeah, handwriting's crazy.
It's not good.
So on here it says Mohinji. On his it says Mohini.
My question is, why is your phone autocorrecting Mahini for Kawhi?
Because I've got a mate called Stuart Mawini.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So it's like you typed it.
Oh, You over here letting us butcher the name and stuff. You saying Mahini.
Look, if he would have said Kawhi, I would have picked Kawhi. You know what I mean?
So let's get this thing started. Somebody handwriting is horrible, but we're gonna try this out. How many points does Jelani average per game? A, 15, B, 9, C, 12. I think I'm gonna go with C, 12 points per game. Seeing as I know my boy, I went with C, 12 points per game.
12 points per game.
Was 11, but he had that little 30-piece nugget. Yes, sir, I knew that. Upped it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Who is Jelani's favorite artist? A, Drake, B, Lil Baby, or C, D Block Europe? I don't know who D Block Europe is, so I think I'm gonna go with B, Lil Baby.
You need to know this question, man.
Always listen to Lil Baby before the game, so I gotta go with B, Lil Baby.
Had to. Come on,
Lord, yes, Lord, 2 for 2.
I think everyone in the Bristol organization knows his
I
answer.
don't know. His music tastes a little broad, y'all. Next question. What age did Jelani start playing basketball? A, 9 years old, B, 6 years old, or C, 11 years old? I think I'm gonna go with A, 9 years old. I went with A, 9 years old.
11 years old.
Dang, so what's that? We tied?
Yeah, 2 for 3.
Can't have no tie, so what we doing? What we doing? Flipping the coin? Rock, paper, scissors? What you wanna do?
We can do rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Hold on. Let's do these rules first. How do you do it?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot, or is it rock, paper, scissors? I go straight into it.
Let's do shoot.
Shoot?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to do opposite? Like, what's going on?
Come on, man.
All right, man.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock always wins. Come on now.
Wait, no, best 2 out of 3?
Best to have. Oh, yeah.
Come on now. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Come on now. Rock always wins. Come on. I say Rock always wins.
Courtesy wins, so good. All right, that's it.
Nice one, man.
I'm here with the man, VJ King. Welcome to the BBL Show, my dude. Hey, firstly, I got a little something for you. Congratulations, the Gold Ball BBL Player of the Month. How does that feel?
It feels great. I'm glad to be awarded with this. Appreciate it.
No doubt, man. You deserve it. So let's just get to it. Obviously, you know, this is your first year in the British Basketball League. What's starting to click for you?
I think the main thing is just our group of guys. It's more than myself. I think we're finding a way to gel and figure out, you know, which player wants it this way and, you know, where can we find players this way and just figuring out how to play with each other. I think that's been the main thing, especially over the last month, that we've really connected on, and we're finally hitting our stride in our season.
Well, not only is yourself playing at a high level, your team, you're currently second in the standings, and obviously we can talk about the elephant in the room. Myself and a couple others, I ain't gonna name them, we picked you guys last. Take us back through the moment to when you guys received that news.
Well, for me, it's like I said, I was new to the league, so I didn't really know who you were and how they did the ranking stuff for the preseason stuff, because I signed almost like a few weeks before all that stuff started. So,
right.
But I could tell from the other guys and their reaction that it really meant a lot to them, and that some of the guys were kind of upset. But you know, it just used as motivation. Like you said, we, you know, I'm sure you're not biased about it. So hopefully we're still proving you wrong in that aspect. But it's definitely been something motivating for the season.
So your success is not a surprise. Obviously, when I look at your resume, you're a Mickey D's All-American. What was that experience like?
Honestly, it feels like it was so long ago, but
you're not that old.
It does. It feels like it was a while ago, but I mean, it's great to be recognized for something like that at that age. Let you know the kind of talent that I have, but I try not to hang my head on those type of things. Like I said, it's good to be recognized for, but even though you don't think that was a while ago, it was a long time ago. So just try to remain confident with that. Still having that under my resume is definitely good to talk about.
Absolutely, and just to paint the picture for our audience who don't know, you were named one of 24 best high school players and got a chance to play in that game. And we're talking about the roster. We're talking about D. Fox, who comes from my hometown. You got Bam, you got Lonzo Ball, and then also Jason Tatum. Just take us back during the moments of practice of the game when you're amongst all that talent. What jumped out to you?
I think the practices were more intense than what the actual game was. So those scrimmages and just playing, it's one thing to kind of play one guy here and on our respective high school teams in the tournament, play another guy here, but to have everybody all in one collective space like that, it brings the best out of you, and that was probably some of the best basketball I've ever been around in my career.
You know, speaking of talent, another player who featured in that game is the King, LeBron James. Just talk a little bit about the time you spent with him, because you went to his high school and was the first freshman to ever start since LeBron James.
Well, to kind of put in perspective, that summer of the 2012 is when he came, and that was, I don't know if you remember or not, that was the NBA lockout. Yeah. So they didn't start that season till late November-ish. So for the first few months, he was there with us on campus while we were getting ready for the season.
Wow.
And he would be there working out. Sometimes you would see him walking through the school if you were, in class at that time. So he was definitely there during that little few month spell.
What is that like? Because we all see him on TV. What is it like when you up close to LeBron James?
What kind of surprised me the most was that, look past that he's obviously probably one of the, greatest athletes to ever walk the earth, is that he's just a regular guy. Yeah. When you talk to him, he's down to earth, silly, make jokes, just like everybody else. So he kind of just wanted us to feel comfortable around him, even though he is who he is. And that was really great to see, a player like him who has the status he had to just come in and you see the hard work he puts in and, the kind of person he is, and it just kind of inspires you.
I mean, when we look at guys who's played in that game, obviously most of them have played in the NBA or played at a high level. What's your aspirations?
I'm just taking it one step at a time right now. I want to get to the highest level I can get to, whether it's, we can name a few leagues, but I just want to be the best player I can be. I think that's the goal in mind I have.
Right now, we look out the window, we're at Ground Zero, future home of the Bristol Flyers. How important is it for an organization like the Flyers to have its own facility?
I think it's great, not only for the organization, but for the city. I think for the city, it'll give people a chance to really get behind the basketball part of the city. And from what I've noticed, basketball is rising in popularity here, but I feel like it can be a lot bigger than what it is now. And definitely having an arena here will give people that excitement about basketball in the city. So, but also, they've been in that SGS arena for almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely excited for the organization and where it's going from here.
And it's going to be people like yourself that inspires the next generation. Just finally, what advice would you give any young Brit that's looking up to yourself, that has aspirations of playing to the high level?
I would say, man, just play as much as you can. Always believe in yourself, and that it's going to be hard. It's going to be times where it's not going to go as well as you think it can go, but as long as you keep working, as long as you have that love for the game, you can go as far as you want.
We know that you got more gold balls coming. Yeah. Well, thanks for your time, my boy.
Well, appreciate you for having me.
No doubt, man.
Yep.
Let's talk about WBBL Focus.
Let's do it.
I tweeted this week, I said I felt like I woke up in the British basketball multiverse as a grenade was thrown in by the London Lions and Mark Clark. A curveball, to say the least. Give us your thoughts.
Man, you're talking about a bombshell. Literally 2 days after the London Lions won the Cup final and after 51 consecutive victories by that organization. And so, yeah, I think everyone was shocked. He's a legend in the game, right? He's always going to go down, and what a way to go out, right? You go out after winning a championship. That's how players and coaches want to always go out. And I feel for him. I'm under the same umbrella that I was last year with the Vince McCauley situation, that I said I have no problem with an organization wanting to go in a different direction. I just felt like they should have maybe waited to the end of the season. So, but on the flip side of that, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, right? And I'm not surprised by it, because if you look at all the the major leagues, such as the Premier League, the NBA, the NFL, one thing that's always consistent is when a team gets a new GM, there's going to be changes made, right? And the new GM normally wants their own coaches. So when I look at it from that perspective, it doesn't surprise me. It's sad for British basketball, but let's see if it's the right decision in the future.
Yeah, that would be the interesting thing. I think personally for me, getting to see Mark Clark up close and personal last year, coaching against him, there's no doubts. He's a legend in the game. And I would have just liked to have seen it go to the end of the season, but we can't be romantic in this business anymore. We have to understand that if we want growth, we have to accept the good, bad, and the ugly of what's happening with those situations, accept it and grow. So, it seemed very mutual. That's what we have to understand, is the sensationalism of that situation isn't really there, because Mark's come out and said, I still have a role within London, and he's still going to grow the game of British basketball. So I'm excited that he's still around. What a great day, Drew.
Yes.
As well as this going to be the home for the Bristol Flyers, this is also the home, Bristol City Football Club, Bristol Bears. This is a really impressive place. The players have been absolutely incredible. Again, an ode to the atmosphere. I can't wait to see an arena here just over the other side.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty awesome for British basketball. Drew, lead us out.
Absolutely. This needs to be the first Sky Sports game once the doors open up in this beautiful facility here at Ashton Gate. But you know where to find us, guys, on the BBL's YouTube channels, where you can find all the previous episodes. But until then, you can catch Jay and I and the others, same time but different location, here on the show.